Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak on new clause 4, and I'll do a brief roundup. Sorry, I'm just sorting myself up. A brief roundup to support new clause 2, new clause 5, and new clause 7. On new clause 4, our proposal for a green skills strategy, I and others firmly believe that we have a green skills emergency, and net zero cannot happen without know-how. However, existing workers who are already in some cases losing their job due to COVID or the chronic instability in the oil and gas sector can be brought over to the new industries like wind, low carbon, hydrogen and energy efficient homes. Meanwhile, young people want to work in sectors which they know are good for them and good for the planet. Providing green skills is therefore such a positive part of the net zero debate. I ask my right honourable friend and the Department for Education to really seize the opportunity to grasp this, as with his leadership and influence over other departments, young people will not only be prepared for the future, but they'll also be providing the solutions for the future. I also welcome the much needed focus on how the country will deliver its net zero targets and what that means to individuals and families. That honest conversation cannot come soon enough. We've lived with our 2050 targets for some time now, but the majority of people want to protect the planet and ensure that that they have a healthy environment for their children and grandchildren and future generations. Yet people are really nervous with inflation and energy prices starting to bite and the cost of paying for the pandemic in the background. It's understandable that suggestions that they're going to be forced into changing their cars, changing the way they live or insulate homes in an expensive way, that it's quite terrifying for some. Yet when I speak to families that are worried about that aspect of the 2050 targets, they're absolutely clear that they recognise there are jobs to be had, not only for them but also for their children. So we know that the market is going to do quite a lot of the work in creating demands for the skilled net zero workforce, but the market also needs some help to plug gaps to ensure the right qualifications are in the right place. And unfortunately, education settings are not quite there yet. They do need some more support to deliver the courses and those qualifications. And just a few, I know my right honourable member for Kingswood pointed a few of these points to what we're missing, but only 5% of mechanics know how to fix an electric car at the moment. In 2019, there were only 3,500 workers who could install energy efficient measures. It's estimated that we're going to need an additional 20,000 engineering graduates in a year. In Stroud, we've got a combination of businesses, ABC, SGS, Stroud, the Green Register, are all coming together, and we've recognised that there's a real lack of standardisation of qualifications, and there's a real lack of understanding and confidence in the public in being able to hire people and know what's best for their homes and next steps. If we do not grasp this, and if we do not provide that confidence, not only to the public, but also to the tradespeople that want to retrain and reskill, but they're not going to invest in a course if they don't think it's going to be the same important course in next year and the year after. They want guidance from government, and they want guidance to know that this is what the public is going to believe in. And I fear that if we do not do this, we will end up with cowboys in the market or people not taking the actions that we really know they need. And it's not just my Stroud amazing experts that talk to me about this all of the time. Big, small, medium, big companies like SSE, I've had some really good conversations with them. They were one of the first companies in the world to publish a just transition strategy, which sets out a number of principles for supporting the transition to net zero in a socially just and fair way. And amongst the key principles to green jobs and skills, it includes guaranteeing fair and decent work and attracting and growing talent. They've created principles for action, and I urge the department to look at this if they haven't already, because the example recommendations for government, I believe, really fit very neatly into what we think could be a green skills strategy from the DFE, BEIS and just government generally. Arguably, the government does not need to wait for backbench MPs to agitate for a green skills strategy, nor does it really need to be in legislation. My right honourable friend can agree to create a green skills strategy, or get his bosses to do so, and set out a plan to support people to attain education that creates the support and meeting these environmental goals. I therefore urge the education team to work with us on the backbenches to do this work, support these plans, and we can certainly bring some fantastic examples to you to make this a reality. And very briefly, I just want to say that in conjunction with my local FE college, SGS, who the Minister was very kindly who very kindly came to visit. We support New Clause 2 and New Clause 7. We believe that it puts a lifetime skills guarantee on a statutory footing and extends it to level 3 courses, so that those without A-level or equivalent qualifications will still benefit from the fully funded courses. I believe the college spoke to the Minister about this when he was with us. And then I also support New Clause 5, so we can achieve reforming benefit entitlement rules that people who are on benefits can still attend college while unemployed, and they're not going to lose out. But I'm very grateful for the passage of this bill at pace. Thank you.